do you say to the women where they have genuine desire for men who aren't looking for the same things as them, and the men who want them, they don't have genuine desire for?
So the woman has genuine desire for this particular guy.
Yeah.
But the guy doesn't have the genuine desire for her.
Or isn't looking for something long term with her.
Right.
And the men that want her, she doesn't want them.
Oh dear, isn't that the classic tale?
That is the classic tale. That's why I'm asking you, the professional.
Wow. I mean, here's the thing. I always say to women, your options are the men who are coming to stay, not the men who want to shag you. Right? Because I think a lot of women get it twisted.
Yes.
Men love variety. And a guy at some point, and I'm talking about the average guy.
Yes.
He wants to be able to say, I've been with that shape, size, age, type.
Yes.
Before he settles down.
Yeah.
Right. So.
Down with dogs, but it's true. Down.
So a lot of women who might be maybe a certain look, shape, size, have. So let's say, for want of an example, she's a 4.
Yep.
And he's a 8.
Yes.
Now he's approached her because he wants to be with a girl like her before he dies.
Sure.
Maybe she was easy, maybe he was desperate, whatever the story is, but this is not genuine.
Yes.
Because obviously he's not trying to stay.
Yes.
Right? He's not trying to make this permanent.
Yes.
Or he's not in a place in his life where he wants to make it permanent, because that makes a difference as well with men.
Yes.
So for her, she's now got it in her head that I get 8s.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Because a woman can't go backwards when it comes to attraction, and men can't go backwards when it comes to sex.
Yes.
Right?
Very true.
So now she thinks, hey.
Sorry, just speaking to the mic. Now
she thinks, hey, this is my caliber. Then maybe a 7 came, and maybe an 8 and a 7 and a 6. And maybe so now she doesn't want to deal with a 4.
Yeah.
She doesn't want to deal with a 5. But the men who are going to come and commit, because men are interesting beings in that they're not like women, in that a man can weigh himself attraction-wise, status-wise very clearly.
Yes.
Very
true.
And so he will say, okay, she is on my level. I can approach her.
Yes.
Right? Very rarely will a man really approach a woman that's out of his league. Very rarely.
Yeah.
Often it's the same or lower.
Yes.
She's kind of my level of attractiveness, my level of,
Yes.
And so those men that are coming to stay, court, date, that's your level.
Yes.
Right. It doesn't have, now let's say you're thinking, ew, but first you have to accept that's my level. The men that are coming to commit, those are your options.
Yeah. That doesn't make him any less of a good man.
No.
Yeah.
Those are your options.
Yeah.
And the problem is now, I don't want that one. I want that one.
Because
I don't
that's
want the
what
one
she's
that's
used
my
to
real.
entertaining.
Exactly. Because this is an issue of your personal self-image. So it's hard to accept that I am attracting what I'm mirroring, that the people that are wanting to stay are a mirror of me, the energy I put out in the world. It's hard to accept that when we think ourselves more highly than we ought, when we think, because the problem with the woman's world is everybody pretty. Girl, you're so pretty. Oh my God. Don't let anybody tell you you're not pretty. Because girls lie to each other all the time. Right? It's your frumpy friend who made an effort today. But she's frumpy most of the time.
Yeah.
And you tell her she's a 10 today. And she's such a 10. Right? Yeah. Women don't say, what are you wearing? I do. I do that. I'm like, what are you wearing? You're going to go back and get changed. No, we're not wearing those. But most women be like, oh, you look lovely. We do these kind of lying things to each other. So most of the time we have an inaccurate estimation of where we rank in terms of how men perceive us.
Sure.
Right? Men tell each other the truth.
Yeah,
you're ugly. And they laugh about it. They think it's funny. A woman would die if another woman said, girl, you're ugly. What? I wouldn't even think to say it. Right?
Yeah, of course.
And so now I've got to deal with the fact that these are the guys that I naturally attract. That's painful to accept. So what I'm going to do is stay in limbo. And then we've got to deal with the issue of trauma. Our adult relationships are a picture of our parental relationships. So I'm always looking for that parent to repair the relationship with the parent that I didn't quite get on with or who didn't give me enough love.
Yes.
So when I pine for this guy that I desire, I want to win him to fix that relationship.
Right.
Right. So there are two things going on. There's my own trauma and my own needing to, the brain is always trying to balance itself.
Yeah.
So where there is no balance, it seeks that balance through adult relationships. So I will always go for, I want that 8, because if I get an 8, then I'm worthy, then I'm seen, then I'm known, right? So
It's
there's that driver. Exactly.
Yeah.
Then there's the whole self-rejection.
Yeah.
And I haven't truly accepted myself, because in order for me to accept my true suitors, I have to truly accept myself. I have to accept, and at different levels, because women, our perceived value changes as we go along. I've had to accept my 46-year-old body very differently from how I had to accept my 36-year-old body.
Sure.
Right. So that's
which is
a journey.
okay. That's just part of life.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, my emotional body, my physical body.
Yeah.
And, kind of regaining that confidence and also accepting what that means. At a certain age, at a certain point, it means something. Whether we like it or not, it means something in terms of who we're able to attract.
Yes.
And so I'm not stuck here. I'm not like a tree. So if I don't like my 46-year-old body, I can literally change it. Right. I mean, I can't turn back the hands of time. Yeah. But I can change it.
Yes.
If I balance my hormones and go to the gym and eat the right things, I can go back to even a better body than when I was in my 30s.
Yes.
If that's important for me to get a certain caliber of man.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So I desire Mr. 8.
Yeah.
Right. I attract naturally Mr. 5. I can work on myself physically and emotionally and mentally so that number 8, Mr. 8 can see me as a viable option to stay. And it does happen. It happens in my practice. It happens all the time.
Yes.
Women come to me and they only get these kind of types, right?
Yes.
We do some work. We get your mind right. We get your heart right. We get your body right. We style you right. And all of a sudden you've got 8s coming to stay. Right?
Yeah.
So it's not like you're stuck there, but you need to know how to move from there. And that's it's painful
to accept,
because we have to first accept some hard truths.
Yeah. It's so interesting. I have a theory.
Yeah.
I want to know what you think. I think that the women who are struggling the most in terms of not getting the relationships that they want, they're happy with, are women who are in the 6 to 7 range. And here's why. Because they are attractive enough for their 8s and 9s to sleep with, but maybe wouldn't consider a suitable option. And the women who maybe aren't as attractive as 6 or 7, like let's say a 5 and below, they don't get attention from those guys anyway. So the only options they can indulge in are the guys who are their level. So they get those relationships and have very happy, fulfilling relationships. Because sometimes, I've heard girls, they'll be like, oh, but this woman's got a relationship and she's married and stuff and I'm more attractive than her and blah, blah, blah. Like, why won't guys do that for me and stuff?
Yeah.
So it's like almost the guys who are 8s and 9s end up choosing the women who are 8s and 9s, but they indulge sexually with the 6s and 7s. But obviously if you're a 6 or 7 and you're used to indulging with guys who's 8 or 9, if you're a 7, a guy who's a 7 or 6 looks unattractive to you.
Yes.
Because like you said, it's hard to go backwards in desire and attraction.
Yeah.
And I completely hear you, I that resonates with me in terms of, okay, well, you can either accept where you are and choose from what's available and you can decide how to move forward with that.
Yeah.
Or if this is the kind of man you want, then this is the growth you need to do.
Yeah.
What do you say to the women who would say, I shouldn't have to change myself to attract the kind of man I want?
Look, I love that question.
It's a hard question, but it's true.
I actually do love it because there are two realities. And this is something I deal with a lot when I'm dealing with, because I've got male clients and female clients. Female clients standardly live in a fantasy world.
Okay.
Standardly. Yes. often my job is to bring them to the real world without taking away the potential for who they can be. A lot of women think they are their potential.
Right. That's a good way to say it.
Right. This is potential, honey. It's not your reality.
Yes.
The reality is you are currently operating at a 5'6". The potential is with some styling, with some work, with some this, with some, extra work.
With some crafting.
Mentally, emotionally, spiritually, and physically, for sure. Because if you're going to signal at 8, 9, there's a way that you got to look, period.
Very true.
Right? If you're going to keep him, there's a way you got to think. There's a way that you got to move,
100%.
right? So all of these things we need to do. And some of, my clients, their journeys are from 3 months to a year.
Yeah.
And this is hard work.
Yeah.
Right? You will work your butt off. And a lot of coaching sessions are wrestling sessions, right? So you have two options. You can live in your fantasy and reality will come to you every day. Reality will look like you getting old alone. That's what reality will look like. I don't have to change I shouldn't have to change. Well, you wouldn't think that for your career. If you want to go from being a manager to a director, you wouldn't think that your current level of education, experience, whatever is enough, surely.
Yeah.
You would think, I have to go back to school. I have to get certain jobs, maybe move sideways, maybe move a few jobs because I want to one day be a director.
Yes.
In this company or in this business. There are moves you will make, and those moves are changing yourself from being manager energetically to director energetically.
Yes.
Because before you offer that job, your employer has to see the capacity is there.
100%.
Right?
Yeah.
So you have to change, not just add skills to yourself, but you have to change. We do it for everything else in the world.
You have to evolve.
I say this to women, even if I'm talking about money, you have to be her before you get what she has.
Yes.
I was a single mom working 3 jobs, raising a son, the normal story.
Wow.
Shelter, homeless, countless times, been through the usual horrible single mom story.
Yeah.
I remember the day that I changed my life. And the day my life actually changed. I remember the day I changed my life is when I said, I don't want to be this girl anymore. I don't want to be the girl that struggles. And I don't want to raise a son that knows only struggle. I don't want this. I don't want to be her anymore.
Yes.
There's a version of me I must become. And that is when I started to do vision boards, and this girl was earning money and she was amazing and she was fly and she was helping people and she had good friends.
Yeah.
She had all the money she wanted.
Yes.
I'm not quite there yet with all the money I want, but I'm on my way.
You're doing well. We see you, man. We see you out here.
Right? But I then began the journey.
Yeah.
I used to date funny guys because I had no idea. And that's like dating multimillionaires. But I had to be different.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Because I wanted different. Now I can sit there and say, well, I don't have to change. You should just love me. Well, you'll be broke, still doing 4 jobs, still doing what you're doing.
Yeah.
Because life does not respect your beliefs. Life is life. You get on board with life.
Yes.
Or you lose.
Yes.
Right? And in
true.
life, to win at anything, to be a world-class sports person, you can't show up at little league time. You don't put in little league time or primary school soccer practice to play for Arsenal.
Yes, exactly.
Right?
Yeah.
You always have to change yourself to become what that vibrational frequency is.
Yes.
Men who are 8s, 9s, and successful at that on top, because biology is one thing, you're just born that way, but you could be low value.
True.
Right? But you're at that high vibrational frequency as a man.
Yes.
You weren't born there.
No. Yeah, 100%.
You elevated there. You fought your way there. You sacrificed things there. There were some things you had to not do. There's some gratification you had to delay.
Yes.
Right?
Very true.
Now, I want you, but I don't want to pay the price.
Yeah.
Stay there. That's my thing. Is honestly, this is the most loving thing I'm going to say. You have every right to be who you are, stay where you are, believe what you believe, but understand that's where your right ends. You don't have a right to force anybody or to compel anybody or guilt trip anyone or damn anyone into choosing you.
Yeah.
Right? You've got every right. By all means, stay who you are.
Yes.
Clap for yourself. Feel good about your life.
Yeah.
And if you can make good of what that vibration of life brings.
Yes.
If you can make good with that, because you look, not everybody wants that.
Hope you really enjoyed that clip. If you want to watch the full episode where that clip is from, then I want you to click right here where you can watch the full episode. And if you're ready to claim your man today, enroll in my program below, and I'll see you there. Wishing you an amazing day.